what's something that's keeping you inspired as an example of how teachers are really adapting to the moment?
I guess I would talk about a couple of things. One thing that has really inspired me are the teacher candidates with whom I personally work, that who were in classes I was teaching when we, from one minute to the next, went online. And, many of them have a variety of situations that they then entered as they left the campus and left their normal circumstances. They were caring for parents, they were caring for children, they were dealing with many things in their communities. And their amazing dedication to continuing their professional preparation, even if it was late at night or, on weekends, the way they took advantage of asynchronous opportunities that I had to sort of hurriedly learn how to design, just really inspired me, because it really showed me that the people who enter teaching at this time in our country are people who are really committed to becoming very high quality beginning teachers. And just watching their commitment and dedication was really inspiring to me. In many ways, I had more individual connections with them over the last 6 or 7 weeks because we were working in this very unfamiliar way that was asynchronous, and yet still they were part of a community together. There are also lots of stories I could tell about local teachers whom I've had opportunity to learn about what they were up to, from a colleague of mine who has been deliberately learning how to record much more accessible, attuned explanations of mathematical ideas that families all over town can access and use, that aren't so distant from the children of our community, that aren't formal or somehow abstract, but actually feel like they're communicating with children. And it took a huge amount of work for my colleague to learn how to do that. I've seen teachers developing much more sensitive compilations of things that children could do at home that don't just shift all of the school curriculum with all of its certainly strengths, but also many of its problems, just stuffing it all into Zoom isn't the kind of thing we want to see. And I've seen people really quickly learn to rethink what we're learning at home, with home, in resources at home, what that can look like and how that can span the range of home contexts that children are in. And just learning about what people are so rapidly learning to do inspires me, partly because what it shows across all these stories is how quickly it's possible to learn to do new things. I really credit Naila Nasir and Megan Bang at the Spencer Foundation, who fairly early in this period put out an amazing statement on their website describing just the real terror of how groups of people in our country are being disproportionately harmed, Black and brown people, low-income communities. And near the end of the statement, where they named all the different groups of people and the ways in which their heart was just hurting for how difficult this period is and how much harm is being created, they ended on a really high note about noticing that in such a short period of time, so much change has happened. And I think we can all name examples of that, and that was in some sense hopeful. Like, if change really can happen that quickly, what does that mean for our ordinary, whatever that means, ordinary practice? Because we so often see change is slow, things go back to the way they were, we're not capable of making change. But a lot of pretty radical change happened pretty quickly, and there's much more to do. And some of the change wasn't good. But it does feel inspiring that maybe some of the systems we thought were just rigid and impermeable to change maybe aren't that impermeable. So I'm trying to carry that forward to think, what do I need to learn that might enable change that would actually be positive? COVID, no COVID, post-COVID, there are so many variables that I don't think I understand at this point, but the notion that change is possible is something I'm really taking to heart and trying to think really hard about over the next weeks.